Now, over the course of Season 2, we've seen a few characters taking a real dark turn, and these three characters, Dru, Brayden, and Diana, were three characters we really dived deep on in the mid-season break. How Dru was going to take a real dark turn once Lorenzo was released from prison, because this is the path that has been chosen for him, and something which he can't escape from, especially because Lorenzo sees him as a successor to the TARD organization. But Brayden is someone who's also developing into his own, and his development is different to Dru's because of what they've seen, what they've been through, and with one growing up in the streets and one with growing up with a privileged background. But it's time for Brayden to choose his family or Tariq's, and will he get his first kill? And the last person we're going to be diving deep on is Diana. After the bombshell that she dropped, some relationships are never going to be the same again. And there was more than one secret that was revealed, and Diana is at the center of it all. So we're going to dive deep on these three characters and look at the path that they're heading in. So let's start with Dru, because this is someone who was always destined to be in the streets and in the game. Because I don't think anybody expected him to live a normal life that he wanted. All Dru wanted to do was draw and live an open life with Ev, which is complicated on both sides, because in Season 1, we saw Monet warning him that he doesn't belong in that world and to always come home to his family. And with Ev, he doesn't want to be open about their relationship because it may affect his basketball career. But with Dru, we've really started to see this slow development, with him first unleashing on Lil Guap, but first falling short of killing him, but then showing his leadership when he ordered Kane to fix his own mess by killing Guap, which of course he didn't. He kept him alive for his own selfish reasons, but the real turning point for him was being shot. And after Lorenzo was released from prison, we saw him standing in the exact same spot, and you saw how much him being shot affected him. And this was really the first turning point for his character. But the other factors do come into play, like him not being able to draw, and Lorenzo pushing him to take more responsibility, and we saw him making the call on how they needed to eliminate the threat of Kino, with him taking the kill shot as well. A kill shot where he didn't even flinch, hesitate, or phase him, and that tells you Dru is someone who's killed before. And killing Lil Guap is something he had to do, because he told Kane the only way he was coming on board with his plan to rob Mecca was if he took the kill shot on Guap. But still, Kane raised his eyebrows because he still doesn't believe Dru has what it takes. But we as the audience know what he can do and what Dru's capable of. He turns into this character of rage and anger, where you can really see him exploding, because Courtney Kemp said Guap called him the F word in Season 1, and he's a character who holds a grudge, and you definitely saw it in this moment with Lil Guap, and he definitely did hold on to all that anger, and it was unleashed in this scene. But the thing is with Dru, he has this connection to this double life with Ev, and this is dangerous to have. And it's dangerous because you can never take your eye off the game. We all saw what happened to Lulu when he said he was taking the night off in Raising Kanan. And this is a perfect example of there not being any days off, no nights off, and no loose ends. Every single loose end needs to be dealt with, just like Lorenzo taught Dru. And Ev is someone who knows way too much. He's already spilled Dru's name in Season 1 when he was questioned by Jabari and Carrie. So honestly, it is only a matter of time before he gets flustered, under pressure once again. And Kevin Whitman coming down to question him, Dru knows he's gonna be back. So Ev is someone who needs to go before he talks again. And this is the next stage of Dru's character development. Losing a loved one which connects you to this fantasy life, it's gonna suck every single humanity left inside of Dru, because that's the only thing that ties him to this double life. And what this would do is, it would set Dru on this even darker path than he's currently even on, and send him deeper into the family business and streets. Because if you've noticed, all the doors to his double life are starting to close, where only one will be left, and that's his destiny. And his character description before Season 1 told us he's trying to separate from his destiny, but sometimes you don't choose your path in life, this is chosen for you. And Lorenzo's definitely chosen Dru's path, and he could very well continue directing Dru to his destiny, because if Dru can't kill Ev, then I'm sure he will. So for me, Ev has to go. It's just a matter of when and not if, and who pulled the trigger. I really would like it to be Dru himself, but he's already shown once before that he hasn't got it in him. So if he hasn't got it in him to kill Ev, let's see who makes this decision for him. But talking about Dru taking a dark turn, Brayden is also another character that is really slowly turning, but his path is slightly different because he's someone who hasn't grown up in the streets like Dru, and he really hasn't experienced death, killed anyone, or suffered any real consequence of the game. But what he does have is this hunger and desire to prove his worth, and we saw it when Kane was manipulating him against Tariq when he helped Kane pull a few licks. We all saw he's someone who loves and thrives in the game, and that's because he's someone who hates his family and doesn't want any handouts from his parents. We saw it when he was given this Mercedes. He really hates things given to him on a plate, but as much as he can't stand them, it doesn't mean that he wants to tarnish his family and his dad's reputation, because he stopped short in allowing Tariq to use the photo, which would shame Rick Sweeney. because it would also shame his dad and would probably tarnish the Weston name, which would mean he would lose his privilege that comes with being a Weston. But this is something that is going to come to boiling point soon, because it's crunch time for Tariq. After Daniel told him that Yaz is going to be adopted, he needs the photo for Rashad Tate. So we really are about to find out whether Brayden is willing to go that one step further for Tariq, or whether he'll stay loyal to his family. But could we see Brayden going one step further in terms of getting his first kill in power? Because in the trailer for episode 9, we had Kane telling Brayden, "I gave you a gun, use it," which was the gun that was given to him in episode 4 when they hit this lick in this jewelry store where Kane jammed the gun and told him that he could keep it. But the question is, with this scene, who's he telling him to use it on? And let's not forget, he actually did pull the trigger in the jewelry store heist. And rewinding it back a bit further to the very first episode of season 2, they showed us this for a reason, with Brayden being comfortable holding a piece and him also taking the kill shot on the deer. And just like how Ev is the next stage of development for Dru's character, Brayden getting his first kill is the next step for him. It's just a matter of when and who. And I've never had a good feeling about his brother Trace, because he's someone who could connect the dots to Officer Ramirez, and he also knows who Kane is. So I do think Trace Weston still has a small role to play in the last 2 episodes, in some way. So I do think he's one to keep our eyes on. But let's talk about Diana, because this is one character who dropped a hell of a lot of bombs in episode 8. And she definitely is a lot like Monet, that's for sure. We saw how Diana was snooping through Monet's things, looking for answers about Monet's secrets. And then we saw Monet doing the same when she was looking for answers herself. And what did Kane say about Diana?
Why wouldn't I?
You acting just like Monet, thinking you know shit, putting under pressure with fake news.
And he wasn't wrong, but she really started to wise up this season, and she's someone who's like Dru, who wants to forge her own path by going to school and hustling at the same time. And we saw her going to Effie for help, and we're going to come back to that in just a moment. But first we're going to talk about how she revealed all of Monet's secrets, and this was Diana telling us that she's had enough. She basically said, "Fuck this, I've had enough of everyone's bullshit." And we saw Dru kicking the table and telling her to be quiet, but it was too late. She revealed Kane's secret, Monet's secret about Dante, and Zeke, but will she regret her decision? Because nothing will ever be the same again. Her relationship with Monet will definitely never be the same, because Zeke is Monet's golden child and her exit plan from the game. It was 24 years worth of secrets and lies that Diana revealed, and this one would have hurt Monet. We saw how Lorenzo told her to leave, so I don't think it's just Diana and Monet's relationship that's gone past the point where it can never be repaired. There's Lorenzo and Monet's, Lorenzo and Kane's, with how he went against the family again. There was also Dru's secret revealed about how he failed to kill Ev, so that's gonna have consequences. As I mentioned earlier on in the video, every single secret will have a consequence, so it really is crunch time for the Tejadas. But something else which I do think we'll need to watch out for is Diana in her relationship with Effie. Because even though it started off well, and we saw them working together, I think it's going to take a turn for the worst. In episode 4, we saw Effie warning Diana about Tariq and to stay away from him, because he's someone who will only cause her grief. And guess what? She's not wrong, because Tariq will cause Diana grief, and Monet even warned her about this before. And Tariq is playing the game, because he's got options, but Diana really likes him because of the way she wants to go to Stansfield, just so she can be closer to Tariq. But when she finds out Effie's getting closer to Tariq again, she'll probably think, hold up, you told me to stay away from him, only for you to get with him. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this being a problem, and Monet saying to Diana, "I told you so." And that's a breakdown of Dru, Brayden, and Diana coming away from the main storylines and plots for a change. So let me know your thoughts on whether we could see Ev's death by the end of the season, and whether we could see Brayden getting his first kill, and will Diana regret her decision about blowing up Monet? Drop all your thoughts down below in the comment section, and I will be back tomorrow as usual giving my preview and predictions video for episode 9. So if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Book 2 Ghost and Power Universe related. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.